Hi, Professor. My name is Jaspreet Singh from Team C, and my team members are Tanji, Mandeep Kaur, and Nirjala. Today we will discussing next slide, please. Yeah. Today we will discussing how multinational corporations adapt to the industrial relations policies of the host countries, in which they operate, especially when there is a stark contrast between the home and host environment regarding trade unionism. And for instance, consider multinational companies headquarters in countries like that United States, states where union density is low, and employer attitudes are often anti-union. And when these firms expand into countries such as Germany or Sweden, where unions play general roles in industrial relations. They are faced with a complex institutional challenges to manage this multinational adopt varying strategies. And after that, my colleagues are more share details in the deeply. Next slide, please. Yeah, Nirjala, please begin this.
Okay. I'll guide you through the lessons from MNCs that we can learn. When companies expand globally, one of the biggest lesson they learn is that you can't just copy paste your home country's policies into any other country. What works in Canada might not work in Germany or anywhere else. So MNCs need to stay flexible and open-minded. They often adopt a dual HR approach, following global standards but adjusting to local labor laws and culture. TLS, like many others, has had to learn this the hard way. We have seen cases like Amazon in Germany where ignoring union norms lead to ongoing strikes and bad pressure. So the takeaway here is respecting local practices is not optional, it's essential. Now, next slide, please. So here we'll be discussing about tailors labor laws in Canada and its relation. In Canada, tailors has a long history with unions and not always a smooth one. Back in 2005, the company tried to introduce a new agreement without consulting its workers, which led to a major strike. Since then, it has tried to improve, focusing more on compliance, diversity, and employee well-being. But issues still come up. Just recently, tailors faced backlash for outsourcing jobs and offering buyouts without proper union discussions. Even though Canada gives employers more flexibility, the Taylor story shows that listening to employees and working with unions can't be skipped if you want to build trust and avoid conflicts. Now to the other slide, please. So Taylor's labor relations in Germany. Now, when Taylor steps into Germany, it's completely a different game. Germany has one of the most structured and employee-friendly labor system in the world. Things like works councils are legally required, and they have real power there. And companies must consult them before making changes that affect staff. Taylor also has to work closely with unions like Verdi. This means decision take longer, but employee feel heard. It's not just about following rules, it's about shifting its mindset from control to collaboration. So we saw this in Taylor's case too when they ignored local expectation. It sparked like strong pushback. So now to the next slide. Here we'll be comparing Canada and Germany's together. When we compare these two countries, the difference are pretty clear. In Canada, union membership is optional and HR policies give managers more control over hiring and scheduling. But in Germany, employees' participation is built um, and also from hiring to workplace changes. Managers need to consult work councils and follow collective agreements. So tailors can't just apply its Canadian approach in Germany. It needs to adapt, and that means being more transparent, legally prepared, and ready to share decision making power. It's a great example of how HR strategy must evolve with the environment. And here we have the bar chart showing the union density between two countries. Now the next slide will be taken over by my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nijana. So first, a quick contrast. Canada has a more decentralized labor model and a lower union density and a flexible employment environment. And in Germany, on the other hand, has a highly structured industrial relation system and is featuring strong union representation and coordination laws and active work councils. I mean, for the first case study is let's begin with the Vodafone. This UK-based telecom giant embraced Germany coordination laws instead of resisting. It actively partnered with the union, Verdi, and involved employee representative in major decisions, including digital transformation. According to Jones, which is article, this proactive integration leads to smoother operations and better workforce support. And next, AT&T in Germany. Now AT&T is a US company with more anti-union legacy and initially tried to replicate its US style management in Germany, and they didn't go well. and Germany works councils pushed back, and AD&T faced legal and organizational challenges. Eventually, it shifted to collaborating with IG Metall, one of the German's largest industrial union. This shift led to a smoother restructuring and less employee resistance, which showing the adaptation was necessary for stability. The next one, we're going to talk about the T-Mobile. So finally, T-Mobile and the global arm of German Deutsche Telekom had to deal with the reverse situation when expanding it to US and Canada. In the US, however, its approach were region-specific and flexible, leading to fewer problems according to further the information's this inconsistency hurt in US reputation, but showing the importance to adapt locally. So finally, to conclude my part, I mean, eventually MNC will prototype and proactive union engagement to localized HR practice and culturally aware management. Doing so not only mitigates risk and also conflict, but also strengthens long-term operational success and brand reputation and employee trust across orders. Okay, now my colleague Mandeep can take over.
Your mic.
Sorry. I will introduction to the labor relations. Thales is a Canadian multinational that operates in the both Canada and Germany, two countries with very different labor system. Canada has a decentralized system where both federal and provincial government creates like labor laws. In contrast, Germany has a co-determination system where employees' involvement in a required in decision making. This presentation compare these two systems and find out how Thales adapt to local labor laws. In Canada, Thales faces challenges related to union relations and workforce flexibility. In Germany, Thales must comply with strict labor laws and collaborate with employee representative. The goal is to understand how Thales navigate these systems and adjust its practices to meet like local legal and cultural expectation. Next slide, please. In labor relation in Canada, labor relations are influenced by both federal and provincial laws. The Canada Labor Code governs the processes of the unionization, like governance handling and collecting bargaining. Approximately 30% of Canadian workers are unionized, but this varies by industry. Thales faces significant challenges with union, notified during the 2005 to 2006 strike when workers protested the company's failure to consult them on agreements. Although union membership in Canada is voluntary, unions still play a major role in the negotiating terms for workers. In recent years, Thales has been criticized for decisions like outsourcing jobs and offering buyout to union employees. These decisions have created tensions with the union, despite Thales attempts to improve its relationship and comply with the labor laws. Next slide, please. The relation in the labor relation in Germany operates under a co-determination system, which requires company to involve employee in the decision making. The Work Constitution Act mandates that the companies with more than 5 employees established to work councils, which represent workers in the discussion on workplace issues. Although union membership in Germany is low, around 70%, the labor laws require extensive cooperation between employers and unions. In Germany, employees are legally entitled by the consultant about changes in their working conditions, such as hiring and firing. For Thales, this means a shift from the more flexible Canadian labor system to a collaborative approach in Germany. The company must adjust its practices, work with the union, and follow German labor regulation closely to remain compliant. Next slide, please. Comparison of labor relation approaches. If I talk the comparison in Canada and Germany have distinct labor relation system. In Canada, managers have more freedom in making decision about hiring, firing, and employee policies. Union membership is voluntary, and workers are not required to consult union unless specified by a collective agreement. However, this flexibility has led to tensions, particularly with union over decision like outsourcing and workforce buyouts. In contrast, if I talk like about the Germany's labor system, it is more cooperative with the strict laws requiring employee involvement in decision making. This difference means that Alice more adjusts its approach when operating in each country. The company must embrace a more consultative and legal approach in Germany while maintaining more freedom in Canada. The next slide. Thales labor strategy and response. Thales has developed a strategy to handle labor issue by balancing legal requirement with business needs. The company uses legal strategy to limit union involvement in the certain areas such as the accommodation request. Thales has also offered voluntary package to unionized employees as a way to reduce its workforce while minimizing conflicts. These buyout offers, however, has led to criticism from unions, especially when jobs are outsourced to other countries like Central America and Southeast Asia. While some employees have accepted the PSPs, others have protested, seeking legal counsels on organizing campaigns. Thales has adapted to the ease tension by offering financial assistance for allocating and enhancing package, though unions still view these actions as insufficient. So I will hand over to the next slide to my friend.
Thank you, Mandeep. Today I will presenting strategic recommendations for managing industrial relations in MNCs. In the multinational corporations, these strategies are designed to help MNCC navigate the complex terrain of global integration while remaining responsive to local labor institutions. Next slide, please. Yes, aligning global and local priorities. First, multinational corporations should apply a dual institutional strategies, which allow global alignment while respecting host country labor norms. And Vodafone's practice in Germany is a prime example, maintaining condemnations while pursuing global goals. Second, industrial relations objectives should be directly linked with the corporate social responsibility strategies. These include union inclusion, fair wage, and workplace safety, all of which are key for ESG performance. And finally, MNCs must avoid exporting anti-union attitudes from home countries, T-Mobile's challenges in Canada, and show the risks when home country hostility to unions is applied in union-dense environments. Next slide, please. Yes, building institutional capacity to ensure legal compliance, MNCC should establish labor liaison units within host countries staffed with legal experts in national collective bargaining frameworks. Moreover, they must audit and benchmark local HR policies to assess union engagement and regularity adherence, using this data to inform corporate HR strategies. And lastly, multi-tier governance structures should be developed, covering corporate policies, regional legal oversight, and local worker instructions, ensuring consistent and context-sensitive industrial relations. And enhancing union engagement, like that protective engagement with unions is essential. Companies should initiate ongoing union consultations, especially during recruiting, outsourcing, or digital transitions. In addition, embedding social dialogue through tripartite collaboration between companies, unions, and state authorities help in cooperating employment solutions and maintaining trust. Next slide, please. Professionalism, managerial conduct. In this slide, foreign managers must undergo host country IR training to avoid cultural conflicts and mismanagement. And this include understanding contamination, collective bargaining, and local labor movements. And in union dense countries, it is imperative to institutionalize co-determination mechanisms such as supervisory board representation and joint working councils. Next slide, please. And to maintain employee trust, MNCC should implement internal voice mechanisms, including anonymous reporting and grievance platforms, especially in union-averse regions. When outsourcing or downsizing, companies must follow transparent procedures, consult unions early, and offer fair compensation and retraining. Finally, incorporating feedback loops allows unions and workers to evaluate IR policies and influence future visions, enhancing legitimacy and industrial democracy. Thank you. Next part, Tenji shares the conclusions.
Okay, for the conclusion, so to achieve the sustainable global operations, MNCs must implement two in the institution strategies, invest in cross-cultural and legal training, and embrace the industrial relations in strategic HR planning. Only by fostering trust, transparency, and inclusive labor practice can MNC tell us success in a diverse regularity and cultural settings while preserving organizational performance and ethical responsibility. Thank you.